It's time for you guys to unwind and then return home.
The thought police, they live inside of my head. There are 9 members in the band Slipknot. They had been married in Japan. It would have been a real problem. Make sure you tell the bride she looks fat in her dress.
Hey, podcast kittens. Meow, meow. It's Cathy Cat.
And it's Ladybeard coming at you with another Macca's wedding ruining installment of
Cat with Beard.
We're ruining Macca's wedding.
Oh, we're going to ruin that wedding real good.
My mate Macca from Australia marrying old Chihiro from Japan. Chihiro's got a lot of rules she's bringing into this special day with a Japanese wedding.
And her family is very traditional, so you have to know all those sorts of rules.
But
you're not getting off the hook.
Macca's mates are not having a bar of it. Hilarity will ensue. We have gotten up to the speech police.
Yes. So first of all, you've accepted that you're going. You've prepared that really difficult envelope with everything you need to prepare it with in the right way, in the right envelope, in the right bag that you bring in with it. Phew. Now you're at the wedding. There's a lot more things you can do to ruin that wedding just by opening your mouth and talking.
Right. So first things first, when you arrive at the ceremony, you got to give over your envelope, right?
And there's a special way of saying it. Shiori.
You have to say, 心ばかりのお祝いですが.
So this is like my celebration from the heart, from the bottom of my heart.
Yeah.
But it has to be that when you hand over that envelope. Once you hand over that envelope that you really struggled with for the last episode of the podcast, you thought you're over getting everything wrong. But no, this is just where it starts.
Oh, mate.
Because now the word police has got you.
Bro, so at the wedding, you are not permitted to use words that are associated with number 1, unhappiness, number 2, farewells and breakups,
and number 3,
another thing, words that repeat.
Yes, we're going to talk about that so you know what not to say when you go on the happy wedding day.
This is bonkers. So we have a giant list of forbidden words you may not utter. This is like going to Voldemort's wedding, isn't it? You can't. How are you
You're not allowed to say the word Voldemort. You're not a lot of words you're not allowed to say.
What is this? Let's go through this extensive list of vocabulary.
I love that word. Can you read that out in your best accent?
Abhorrent.
Abhorrent.
I like that word too. It's a good word. Abhorrent.
Abhorrent words.
Abhorrent vocabulary. Oh my goodness.
All right. So avoid saying these things. You can't not even just to the happy couple, not even just to their parents, not even to their family, not even to the guy you're trying to chat up at that wedding, apparently. Don't use these words at all during the duration of the wedding.
Yeah. So when you see one of your friends, you're like, oh, how's it been going? You can't use any of these words in your answer. So
you can say how it's been going, but you can't use these words during that.
I'll say English, you say Japanese. Yeah?
Sure.
Here we go. Repeatedly.
Aitsugi.
Shallow.
Asai.
Impatient.
Aseru.
When he, she, or they were alive.
生きていた頃. So you're not allowed to talk about people who passed away in that way, I guess.
Okay.
So you can't say that. Repeatedly surprises me.
The next one's a doozy. Busy.
忙しい. That one I'm so confused with. Because in the end, everyone's busy.
Everyone's busy in Japan all the time.
I mean, in Japan, literally, we had this in pretty much every episode of the podcast, how busy people here are.
It's ridiculous.
So you're not allowed to say izogashi, busy.
Next one makes a bit of sense.
They're not supposed to be busy, I guess. Another reason why they're not supposed to say busy, izogashi?
No, it's actually not the word, like the meaning of the word itself, but actually the kanji.
Oh, the symbol that's associated with the word is bad. Therefore, you shouldn't even say the word that it's not bad in itself, but the symbol of the word would be bad.
So just a component of the kanji means deceased.
Yes, exactly.
Yo, oi. Good thing you're studying here with Cat with Beard, because otherwise you are going to mungle this wedding completely.
But that would be one of the first things. How have you been recently? Haven't seen you since school. Izogashi, I'm so busy recently.
Busy.
Damn, can't say that.
Well, you're fired. You're fired
already
from Macca's
out.
wedding.
Get out.
The next one makes some sense. Pain.
Itai.
Okay, ending.
Oshimai.
Makes some sense. Fall.
Ochiru.
Decline.
Otoroeru. Sorry. Otoroeru. That's not one I hear often about.
Lack.
Kakeru.
Grieve.
Kanoshimu.
Wither.
Kareru.
Collapse.
Kuzureru.
Erase.
Tetsu.
Break.
Kowasu. Like into not to break up, but to like to break something.
To destroy something. Last.
最後
Leave.
去る
Die.
死ぬ
Those ones all made some kind of sense. I guess you don't want to say negative words. Here's a doozy. Shimmery.
しめやかに
So I would have thought shimmery, shining and sparkling would be exactly what you would associate with the bride.
And it doesn't even have a kanji associated with it, so I'm not quite sure why that one's a baddie.
So this word in Japanese, しめやかに, is to modify how the funeral is held.
Pardon me?
Is a funeral word?
It's not funeral word, but it always comes with like something related to funeral. So like お葬式がしめやかに行われました. The funeral was held shimmery, I guess.
Well, I don't understand.
So that word is not a funeral word, but it's used so often around everything funeral related that you shouldn't use it at a wedding.
Yeah, exactly.
Why? Because you have a lot of things.
Because it's like a word that people associate that's used at funerals.
Oh, okay. All right. Fair enough.
So it's not a bad word in itself, but it's used so much during funeral occasions that you shouldn't use it at a happy time when it's the wedding.
Okay.
I think this.
Thank you.
There's one thing that makes sense to me now. A lot of people say funerals are held at temples and weddings are held at shrines, right? And I heard that when there's usually shrines shouldn't see death and stuff. So when someone passes away in a Japanese family, if you have a house shrine, you have to cover the house shrine during that time.
Okay, all
That's
right,
correct,
all
right?
Yeah, it's correct.
All right, I guess that makes some kind of sense.
I guess that maybe relates to the whole thing, like when there's something happy happening, it should be focused on that. If there's something death or death related, you're not supposed to let the happiness heal the bad things. So you're not supposed to talk about someone's funeral at someone's wedding, for example.
Okay. We have barely scratched the surface of this list of words.
There is a lot. I mean, the other ones make much more sense. I think I would leave that. But one of those that doesn't make sense, or what surprised me, is Buddha. So there's a lot more words that you're not allowed to say, but a lot of them made sense. Like seize or death or
fall,
born.
more, perish, crack. Okay,
crack maybe not so much, but maybe to like break, crack and waru.
Yeah,
like there's a crack in the dish.
But yeah, that's a zinger. Buddha. You can't mention Buddha at a wedding.
Apparently, hotoke is a word that's also used for dead people, like bodies.
Yes, so we call dead people hotoke-sama.
I see.
Oh, okay. Wow, okay.
But also, here's a fun one. Outrageous.
Outrageous?
That would be the most favorable word at an Aussie wedding.
Tondemonai. Why is tondemonai a bad one?
Because like tondemonai is often used in the negative context.
Oh, really?
Oh, what? Now that they're just getting picky. Are you not allowed to say this food is mazui, or you're not allowed to say I had a bimio job or something? You're not allowed to say anything negative?
There's always the way to like rephrase it, you know? So you have to rephrase it, not using this exact word.
Wow.
This is starting to sound a little bit like toxic positivity.
Yo, you better get your vocab study on before you attend a Japanese wedding, friends.
Use positive words all the time.
Dude, it's...
wow, okay.
Yeah, so...
Tondemonai. You can't say tondemonai.
4 and 9, anything that sounds like or is associated with the numbers 4 or 9, keep them out there. There are 9 members in the band Slipknot.
Well, you're not allowed to talk about that.
So if they had been married in Japan, it would have been a real problem.
Well, maybe not all at the same time. But I'm just surprised that like unlucky numbers like 4 and 9 or busy, izogashi, you can't talk about that.
It's bananas,
so
mate.
when is your like next job thing due? Oh, it's due on the 4th. God damn it. No, I gotta leave. Or it's like, how have you been recently? Well, I've been so busy. Now I need to go.
I gotta go. I'm out of here. I'm fired from Macca's wedding.
You're gonna get that bad look from grandma.
It's
like you ruined the wedding.
Yeah, right.
Oh my gosh.
It's how do you feel about the afterlife? Well, my mate Buddha. Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. Okay, all right, no worries. So you should be talking about the afterlife either. That was a double on Ladybeard's part.
I mean, I think you stay safe if you just stay away from any kind of mourning topics and any kind of negative vocabulary that assumes death or breakups.
Case number 2, grouping number 2, words associated with farewells or breakups. So
all right.
Like, bored.
Akireru.
Yeah. Fade.
Aseru.
And again, we won't go through the whole list. Just pick out, you know what I'm saying? Cut.
What about cool though?
Yeah, here's a weird one. Cool.
Sameru.
What if you live on Okinawa or you're in the desert and being cool is the best thing?
Apparently can't use sameru because maybe the people will get cold towards each other. Is that right? Is that...
Yeah, we use the word sameru in terms of like the kanke ga sameru. So it's like cooling down the relationship.
I see.
Oh, so you don't want them to cool down their hot love for each other. All right. How about to go back kaeru? That sounds like a good thing. Sometimes
go back home together.
Yeah, you can't. Like, you would say, "Oh, what are you going to do after this?" Well, I'm just going to go home.
I'm going to go home to my loving wife.
Yeah.
No, you're not.
Apparently, that's not what you're supposed to say.
You're not. Let go. Oh, that sort of makes sense. You can't go sing any Disney songs then, can you?
Let go.
Divorce, that one makes sense. You don't want to say that. Alienate. Thin? What about when you want to say the bride looks so thin in that dress?
Hosoi? Oh, is it because they're supposed to be all thick with each other, or?
Thing also is usui is also called like used in like a context of like the relationship is not going well.
So make sure you tell the bride she looks fat in her dress. It's real important.
I don't think that's good advice.
Hey,
don't take the Ladybeard advice.
This is the way to not offend her. Tell her she looks real fat in that dress.
Well, you can use hosoi instead of usui. That means, skinny.
Okay, just different type of word for skin.
All right.
You can tell her. Oh my gosh.
Okay, no problem.
Woo! Well,
Wowzers.
we're already ruining that relationship with, what is it, Macaulay? Maca's wedding real bad.
Endure.
Endure.
You have to endure this wedding.
I don't say that either. All right, so those are still, some of them made sense, but the next one I find really hard because I love onomatopoeia words where it's like two sounds that follow each other. You see them a lot. If you read manga, you see them a lot, right? Doki doki.
Yeah.
Doki doki is a very popular one. Uki uki, waku waku.
Yeah.
Those are like onomatopoeia words. And sometimes they're like also proper words, but I love those.
Yeah, they're wonderful fun, aren't they?
And you're not allowed to say them.
Waka. Yeah.
They're inappropriate.
You can't say them. Anything that repeats is the idea because you want this wedding to be the only wedding in this person's life, so you don't want the wedding to repeat. Is that the idea?
Meaning like no remarriage is the part of it, right? No repeat.
Yeah. Once
that
is enough.
That is just so.
Dude, I've been kicked out of Macca's wedding such a long time ago.
All right, so tama, toki doki, don don, mazu mazu. All of these words that you kind of repeat because they sound cute.
Waza waza? What's waza waza?
Waza waza is like when you spend your own time and energy towards something. So
like waza waza 持ってこなくてもいいのに。
Yeah, わざわざ来てくれてありがとうございます。Thank you very much for coming all the way, spending your time and energy.
But everyone's spending their own time on this wedding ceremony and our own money that we had to get specially printed for this occasion.
Well, the good thing is we are safe. In case you have to hold a speech, I have to hold a speech, and we're really scared of using those words. Don't worry, there's a job for that in Japan. Now, coming back to your business idea, there is a business idea for that because there's actually there are web tools and also specialist companies that will check your speech for the bad words. So you pay a pretty penny to make sure that you don't ruin that wedding speech.
Bro, yeah, that company is called 1984 by George Orwell. That's the name of the company providing this service. Newspeak, yes. Well said. Newspeak. The thought police, they live inside of my head. The thought police. Oh.
So yeah, they're making some money out of making sure that you don't ruin their marriage.
Bro.
But hopefully you don't have to hold a speech at Macal's.
At Macca's.
Mac and cheese. Okay.
It's an abbreviation for like McDonald or something. Macca.
All right, Macca's. We made Macca up though, did we?
Well, I made Macca up.
All right, okay, good.
That's like the most Aussie name you can have, Macca. Macca! But now you also need to be careful to dress the correct way.
Yeah, so first of all, I think we're both out. But depending on how strict your marriage is, there are some rules. I mean, generally, there's one big rule, even in the West, that you're not supposed to do as a girl. If you go to someone else's wedding, you know that one?
The other girls don't wear white? Is that it?
Exactly. That's like rule number one.
Oh, is
That's
that right?
even in the West like that because only the bride is supposed to be wearing
You can
white.
tell I haven't attended very many weddings, eh?
I mean,
I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
I just, I thought you had to
Maybe
wear...
that's the reason why people don't invite you.
I thought you just had to not look like a total slob and maybe wear a suit,
Maybe you went to a marriage and you used all of those words.
Probably did.
That's why no one
I
of
probably
us
was
is
like-
getting invited again.
Erasing your happiness, crack that marriage writer, Maybe I did. I was like, hey, Buddha. I ruined the marriage left and right.
Already left and right. Don't.
I brought you $49.
Oh no.
Wrapped up with this bouquet of funeral flowers.
You got we could make totally a sentence out of all of those
We
words,
should.
It's time for
That's
you guys
a
to
challenge for you,
unwind and then return home.
Oh,
those things.
mate.
Oh, dear.
Keep it cool. What a cool guy getting married with his very thin wife. All right, so hang on. Clothing restrictions. Number 1, don't wear any animal prints or fur.
That's surprising. So that's not supposed to be worn at weddings because they're associated with killing.
Okay, fair enough.
That brings us back to think when we were talking to you about the New Year's food and that you're not supposed to bring out knives at New Year's for the New Year's food, the idea of cutting. So there's a lot of symbolism around these big events, right? So no fur, because again, it's
There's something
associated with killing.
beautiful about all this symbolism and tradition. There's something beautiful about it. And there's also something really mendoxide
And
about
really stressful, yes.
Yeah, really.
Hate in the peach.
Number 2, do not wear a watch.
Okay, that one. Yeah, all of you guys who are currently wearing a watch, you can't go wearing that watch. Might have your step counter in it. Might have your heart rate on it. Well, you can't wear it.
Yeah, refer to your phone if you need to know the time. Because if you're wearing a watch, it implies that you're like, when is this wedding over? I'm busy. I'm isogashi. That's also forbidden. I got things to
You don't
do.
want to be isogashi before you go home because you have to count 49 chickens when you leave. This is how you ruin it.
So, wedding parties are often held in conjunction with wedding ceremonies in Japan.
And I mean, coming back to the first episodes, there's usually the big places with their smart. You have a chapel on base, you have a hotel on base, you have a restaurant on base. Everything is in the same environment. There's like literally you churning through those couples in the morning, 8 a.m. These people are marrying. Then they're going to move to the food area here. And then they leave. So the next marriage can go do the ceremony. Boom, boom, boom. Next one. Bam. I've seen it. It's a bit cold. In a Western sense, it seems a bit cold. It's literally like whatever they ticked in the box, they get done. But it's very different from Western ones where you kind of like think about it and like this location has like a personal meaning to us because we went there, that kind of stuff. But it's the program and a lot of people love it. But now we're making it unique because the party is where it gets unique.
Woo!
Thanks to not the wedding planner, but actually the friends.
And the mates. Your mates, your best men and that. They're going to show up. They're going to show you a good time at your wedding party.
So the party happens after the wedding ceremony and takes 2.5 to about 3 hours.
3 hours
That's
of
when
happiness.
it gets unique. A lot of Japanese ladies will also change their outfit.
Woohoo!
They might have worn a wedding dress for the wedding ceremony, but then they wear a different outfit.
Kick off your shoes, ladies. Loosen that tie, gents.
And if he had, for example, a black tux at the wedding, he might suddenly turn up with a white tux. So there will be some sort of clothes change.
Well, probably not white, because that means you're going to a funeral too, doesn't it? If you're wearing white.
No, I think white tuxedo for weddings is okay.
Really?
I didn't
Isn't white
see that
a
in a
funeral
drama.
color for a suit?
Only black and white combination is prohibited because it's funeral. So you have to add another color into it.
It's also how everyone goes to work every day, black and
So
white.
if you have like a big red
Sorry,
rose,
man.
on the white on the tuxedo, that's fine.
Lapel.
Yeah, or like using different color on your tie or something.
Okay.
Okay, hold on. Question. I recently had to buy a suit.
Oh.
So when I bought that suit, the stuff was, hey, this suit you can wear at weddings and at funerals.
Oh.
2 events, 1 suit.
Oh.
And
good
I was
suit.
a bit surprised.
Good suit.
So is it just is that a thing? Is that just a safe option to just go in a suit?
Yeah. Basically, I think these suits is for kankon sosai. So that's a Japanese word to represent like 4 important ceremonies in your life. And that includes funeral and marriage.
What are the other ones?
I was going to ask.
Sai is like a ceremony, like a festival at the shrines or something.
So guess, if you have a shrine ceremony and a funeral and a wedding, you can wear the same suit for it.
It sounds like
Just make sure that's the right type of suit, because they have like special funeral suits as well. Actually, we're talking so much about like death during this wedding episode that's not good at all. Oh man, that's not good.
What's the last
Need
one?
to go pray at a shrine now.
Yeah, so the first one, kan, is actually coming of age day.
Okay.
세진시기.
It kind of feels to me like you get one suit and it's like you wear it front ways for a wedding, you turn it inside out, wear it like that for the funeral, and that's just how you get through life.
I think it's the same suit, but then you have to wear like different things. So for example, if you think it's a sort of pearl necklace is more associated with not so good things.
Well, don't wear a watch, whatever you do at the wedding.
Don't bring
That's a
that
bad
watch
plan.
there. So yeah.
Pearl necklace is no good, really?
Yeah.
That's what pirates steal those from other pirates.
Well, we shouldn't wear that for probably the wedding. Make it with more colorful and
I remember
bright.
we spoke about pearl necklaces. I can't remember what the problem with them is, though. We spoke about it on the show one time, didn't we? Did we not? I thought we did. I know I've heard this before, but I can't
Did
remember.
we? Guys, listeners to podcast, let us know in the comments down below if we ever talked about pearl necklaces.
Thanks.
All right, so now it's time for the fun part, the party.
Hey, let's go,
party!
people. Finally, we're through that.
Party!
Finally, my mate Macca returns to having a good time. Good.
Now, image of some marriages that I've seen, some have like a dance floor. Like I've seen Indian marriage in Canada, and that was like big dance floor, DJ playing.
Indian weddings are awesome.
They're so good. Oh my God.
I love Indian weddings.
They're amazing.
It's so much fun.
But the way I've seen the party at a lot of Japanese events is it's more like everyone has a table, they have their own little name things, seating is done out, and then there's going to be some sort of show. So there's no getting up and dancing as much unless there's a dance floor, and that is also paid for. But a lot of the occasions, it's more of a performance that happens. So you have that MC, the lady with the mic, who will then talk you through different things. She might talk about, for example, about how the couple found each other. There will be someone who's in charge of doing a video, which is usually like a slide screen of when they were kids, they looked like this. That's when they met first. And now they're together. Some music playing in the background, kind of slideshow. That's definitely, the slideshow is a must. I heard that at least. And I saw that in Japanese TV shows. So I think it's true.
Probably.
And there's other sort of entertainment.
Yeah. So your mates are going to get together and do a performance or make an amazing, funny video for you.
Yeah.
So, yeah, your mates get together and do a dance performance. Sometimes it can last like 20 minutes. And sometimes they're really good.
There are videos of those online. They're good.
Some of them are banging. Like professional level dance groups come out. You're like, whoa, this is really good. Really good.
Sometimes it's also connected to where they in a kind of club or society in university or in school. And then, for example, if you were in the dance club, then just get all your mates in, invite them over.
Mate, it's a happy day if you're marrying a chick from the dance club. Oh, wow.
So dancing, singing, maybe some jokes on stage, anything goes. Dress your friends up in Disney outfits and have them do the happy Disney songs.
And your mates prepare this like for months and months in advance. So I was involved.
Actually, 3 months.
Oh, it has to be 3? Because that's not a 4 or a 9 or an 8 or a 10 or a 4.
You're learning.
I was involved in a wedding funny video once for the staff of a person I knew who was getting married who knew me. And so I was on camera congratulating her. It wasn't anything that amazing that happened. It was just me being like, I'm sorry I'm not at the ceremony, but congratulations. And
I hope you didn't say any of the bad words.
Oh, well, I'm sure I did. Sure, I said all the bad words. But I saw the video of the video at the wedding ceremony and everyone seemed to chuckle.
Good.
So it seemed like it was fine.
Safe there. Mentioning that, we haven't even started talking about one funny thing when we go through the ceremony. Let me just loop back to the ceremony. So there is a chapel, but it's not a real chapel, right? It's not a church. And I don't think it's like Christian or anything because it's a non-Christian chapel. As a Japanese person, even though you're not part of Christianity, you can attend those Christian style ceremonies. And a lot of times, a lot of foreigners, probably some of those who have been on this podcast, have actually acted as fake priests.
Yep.
It's a popular job for dudes who have that kind of priestly aura around them to be a fake priest.
If you're a, particularly for white men, kind of age, late 30s plus, if your hair's going a little bit salt and pepper or you're completely gray or white, that's actually ideal to play the priest. One elder, slightly older looking, dapper looking, gentlemen, they can stick it to a priest costume and then you play the priest at a wedding, and it's something that a lot of the actors and whatnot in Japan do is for a bit of pocket money.
It's a bit of pocket money to pretend to be a priest.
Yeah.
And it's legit because it's not a real church.
We should get Harley Jackson to start doing priest gigs.
Oh, that would be so
good.
funny. But actually imagine you doing the priest, like with your pigtails and your little cute little dress.
Oh, but you're also
reading
priest.
the vows.
Dearly beloved, we have a great time.
Fantastic. And then we bring them back to the wrestling marriage.
Yes.
Yeah, this is perfect.
You may now slam the bride.
Oh dear. So okay. Winding back
Now.
to the party. So have something fun prepared. If in case you're invited, you might be actually invited to actually have prep.
You might have to be on stage.
You might have to be on stage. You might have to
in
have
a Western
something
wedding, you
prepped.
might say, get up and say a few words. Well, here it's get up and do a solo interpretive dance performance dressed as Doraemon or something.
Mm-hmm.
Now we get to the party. We're going to get a little bit rowdy. Finally, we can, get it on. Here's what happens. Everyone starts a little bit of the old drinky. Everyone starts to get into the festive spirit a little bit. But here's what happens. Everyone's expected to take turns pouring a drink for the groom, right? But there's a lot of drinking going on. So maybe you get to the point when it's a little bit too much for you.
You don't want him to get wasted on his wedding night.
That's
Too
right.
wasted.
This groom is expected to drink with everybody there. So just,
Customary to come and get poured by someone else, right? So they
I'm just
come
saying.
over and pour the drink for the
shots.
Shots.
Everybody. I'm sorry. I should have gone for the second verse. I'm sorry. Anyway, this poor gentleman, he can't handle that. He's a vegan. He's not used to that level of alcohol consumption. So what do? They put a little bucket under each table so that he can get
Under
his
his
glass
table.
poured. On only his? Okay.
No, only his table, not the other dudes get. they're
Cheers,
not getting that.
everyone. And then just pour the alcohol away.
When they're not looking. This is
When they're not looking,
smart.
does he have to pretend to drink it?
I'm not quite sure because it depends on how strict it is. Maybe just like a tiny sip.
Yeah.
Thanks. All right, next one.
Dear. By the end of the night, he's all bloodshot. I need a glass of water.
The wife is going to be all angry that he's so mad, so wasted.
Yeah, exactly, right? It's our first night together. I'm saying Buddha 7 times. Buddha.
Oh, no, don't do it.
9 times, sorry.
Oh my gosh. So, looping back to that famous wedding magazine.
Yeah.
So now we actually find out what it does. It covers information about wedding venues, dresses, rings, gifts,
Ah.
costs at wedding ceremonies, and wedding preparation.
Wedding preparation!
And more. And more. So
It is such a cultural phenomenon, this magazine, that sometimes young ladies who are in a relationship who would like to give their boyfriend a subtle hint that maybe it's time to put a ring on it or just leave the magazine in his room. Maybe he'll get the hint that she's thinking about briding up.
Also,
Mhm.
it is so thick and so heavy, especially in Tokyo with all those wedding venues and shenanigans. Guess what? It was actually used as a weapon in Pro Wrestling 2016.
Yeah. In Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling, it's the group, one of the groups that has a lot of girls in it. There's one girl who has a gimmick about she wants to get married. And so she used this wedding magazine as a weapon in the ring, which is brilliant. Brilliant.
Slapping your opponents with a very thick book about marriage.
It sounds to me like the kind of thing that would happen. The kind of girl you shouldn't be marrying would be using it to slap up her boyfriend. Be like, when are you going to marry me, damn it? You know?
For sure. None of that.
Yeah, I don't think you should marry a chick who slaps you with a marriage magazine.
I mean, just generally don't marry anyone who slaps you at all.
Yeah, oi, we're anti-slapping, especially in relationship contexts. This is going downhill
I'm
quickly.
going to move to all its kawaii marriage registration documents right now.
Oh, yes.
So that's a big deal. Like, you can actually marry someone without even having gone to the altar. You can marry someone without actually going both together to register.
Dude.
That's the crazy part. I'm a bit scared about that.
Bro, under Japanese family law, like if you're not married yet and you're still property of your parents can go and just marry you to someone.
Wow.
You don't even have to know about it. They can just legally go and marry you to someone. So you can be like, now I started dating this person. I'm going to go off and get married. You go to register and they're like, sorry, friend, you're already married. You're already married to Timbuktu Jason down in Fort Worth.
Yeah, I
You're
think
like, what?
that's a big problem with some idols because if you have your real name online, people can just sign their name and the idol's name on the page and then get that registered. Ha! Boom! Suddenly you're married.
What? But hang on. You can't just say you're marrying me if you have nothing to do with each other, can you? You have to have
that
legal
has
rights
apparently
over.
happened before, that someone has a big fan has just found out the real name and all of the details, put that into the wedding registration document, handed that in at the official place, and boom, she didn't know she was suddenly married to someone. It did work. And that causes a bit of a problem because not both people have to be present during the handing over of these documents, which sounds mighty sus. But those documents in itself, very simple documents,
that
can
one
actually
left me
be
speechless. Ladybeard was speechless. Yeah, but
Those
the documents
documents
themselves, when you got to register your money, you make some really, really cute certificates.
There are cute certificates. I've seen one of them actually I think it was at the Sailor Moon store or it was at Universal Japan somewhere. It was like a Sailor Moon wedding certificate. So it was already ready there. The only thing I was waiting for him to put his signature on or her to put her signature on and bam.
Do you need
married.
your hanko to get married?
I think you should have a hanko with it, but in the case of the girl that got remarried, someone just made a hanko and boom.
Oh, man.
Made a fake hanko and suddenly she was married.
Your hanko for the uneducated is your stamp. In Japan, you remember watching movies about like medieval Europe when like someone would get a letter to say, it's sealed with the Duke's seal. Japan still uses a system like that. You need a little stamp of your name and you have to stamp it on like legal and official documents.
It's like the replacement of signature in Japan. It's like a little stamp.
Yeah, it's amazing. But you need your signature and a stamp a lot of the time. And you stamp it on a contract over 2 pages. So the 2 pages have to slide together to complete the stamp. Anyway, the wedding invitation letter can also be very cute and character-based.
But actually, the way people send back the letter, some
Send
people
back.
like doodle on that letter. So if you get the letter, you're allowed
see.
to like doodle on it and then send that back.
Okay.
So that's kind of cute. People like put like Mario on it or whatever they know that the bride or the groom likes, which is cute.
But I'm sure there's also a bunch of forbidden things that can't happen on the letter when you send it back. When you send back your acceptance to the wedding, yeah?
You probably shouldn't
Your
put any of those
RSVP?
bad words in
Yeah,
there. Don't say you're Izugashi and you can't come.
Yeah, don't mention Buddha and don't send 4 or 9 copies of the same thing. Anything else, Shaz? Anything else you can't write or should write or must write?
So on the invitation letter, it says ご参加 and then ご欠席.
Okay.
So ご is like something, like it's a prefix you put on someone who you respect to, right? When you send it back to them, now you are the lower hierarchy. So you don't need ご.
You take the polite prefix away.
Yes.
I see.
All
So
right,
you-
you just
you have
blank
to-
that out.
Yeah. So you have to delete ご, like with your pen or something, delete the ご and then send it back to them. That's how this like a doodle, like drawing doodle thing comes
So
because
people
like
doodle over the
Oh, I see.
yeah, but then it looks like just the black stains on the letter.
I
So
see, I see.
people started making creative.
Isn't it
That's nice.
interesting? Because you would have thought with all these rules, you would have thought essentially vandalizing the RSVP card would be considered extremely negative.
I find it funny that every person who gets the RSVP card has to scratch out the go and then send that back. Like, just don't put it on there in the first place, but everyone has to scratch it out or cover it and then send it back. It's just one of the little things that if you don't know about it, you have answered the card wrong. However, the wedding I got invited to recently, I might not have screwed up that badly by answering because it was digital.
Digital.
It was digital. So there's no scrabbling out the go or something. You just answer via email and you
that's
send
good.
that back.
Soon we'll have AI RSVPs and the AI can just take out the go for you.
I'm just really terrified about what I've wrote. And like there is a section of like message to the happy couple. I hope I didn't use any of the bad words.
Like just next time, anyone who's got an RSVP ever, just write Macca, 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 and you'll be fine.
For sure.
Macca. Macca is a good luck word, I've decided. Macca can be used in all scenarios and it means positivity and good luck for everyone.
I just think of macaroni and cheese, but that's a good thing too.
Macca.
Right. But again, don't forget, as a foreigner, you sometimes get the let go card. You get the foreigner card. Sometimes you can pass. People won't be so strict, but try to at least avoid talking about death and negativity and people splitting up during someone's marriage. That's
We
probably a
have
takeaway.
not even mentioned the Japanese style of wedding at all.
Yeah, which we should do maybe in a future one. We'll talk
We'll
about
have to do a future one.
shrines.
Because the Japanese wedding is also a thing in
Completely
itself.
different.
Well, but for right now, I think it's time to wish them happy couple well.
Happy couple well.
And we'll see you in 4 to 9 weeks. No, 4 to 9 days. 4 to 9 days. Days is better. 4 to 9 days.
Oh, don't even say that.
Sorry. We'll see you in exactly
a week.
3.3 days for another episode.
No, we don't have an episode in 3.3 days if you're watching this. No, we see you in a week for another episode of
Cat with Beard. Bye, Buddha.